Give me some Ingram. It's the coach. This is Madden Football on EA Sports. Coming up, running back Mark Ingram, fresh off a big performance a weekend ago, as it'll be the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Baltimore Ravens. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Coach, they love their crab cakes and they love their football. That's what Maryland does. And we are at M&T Bank Stadium down near the inner harbor of Baltimore. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Minnesota Vikings and the Baltimore Ravens. They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. They'll run for the first time with Mark Ingram. And not much there. Maybe a yard up to the 24. He'll wind up getting a yard on the game's first play. It's second down. On second and 9, Jackson. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32.
Check, 154, 154. I'm coming after you. I'm coming.
They'll try to run for the first with Ingram. And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. Not the best of starts here offensively. You're back home. You lost a couple games in a row, and here's an early 3-and-out to start things off.
And I think they were counting on being at home and having the home crowd carry them along a little bit to help things get better. But the bottom line is you don't get the crowd involved until you play better. They've got to create some first downs, some big plays, things of that nature to make sure that the crowd is right there with them.
Now the first carry for Dalvin Cook. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know. You know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game, so what do you do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, there's nothing but room to run.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. The shotgun snap for Darnold. He gets this one complete to Traquan Smith. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. They convert on third with a gain of 22.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
On second down, it's Cook, and he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a third down.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
Throwing here on third down, Darnold. And that will be incomplete.
It's a great job by this secondary. When I watch them, they remind me of elite defenders on a basketball court, right? They want to contest each and every pass.
Great contest on third down to bring up fourth. And this will carry out of bounds. Where are they going to spot it now? At about the 18-yard line, it looks like. The Ravens offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And on the first drive, 3 and out. I know that these are professional athletes, but I would imagine sometimes you get the nerves at the beginning of a game still, don't you? Robert Woods, he's at the 50, the 30, 20, 10, and all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Robert Woods, 82 yards, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter.
Partner, you know what the real key is to stopping a good passing attack?
You tell me.
Being able to tackle as soon as a guy catches a football.
Didn't work out there.
No, because when you give up the big run after catch, the rack yardage, that puts your defense in a big-time stressful position.
A lot of rack yardage and a touchdown there on the big play. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And, you know, certainly a lot of football left to be played. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're first place in their division, looking good, looking to be a threat come January.
And let's think about what every team has in their goals, all right? Number one goal is what? Make the playoffs. Number two goal is win your division. Number three goal, and the biggest goal, I think, is to be the highest seed possible that you can be heading into the playoffs so that you can try to have as many home games as possible to try and get you to the Super Bowl.
And right now fighting for every win possible to try to at least secure home field for the wild card and or divisional round. On second down, Cook. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
I know what you're thinking out there. I know a lot of you are thinking, take a shot downfield. It's a great spot for it. I'd say maybe later in the game, definitely in the second half. But right now, I think they were just trying to get some momentum built. Get a first down, pick it up, and keep...
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. DeMarcus Lawrence in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him. So now 20 yards to go on second down after the sack. Work to be done. Darnold now to throw. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's third down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Back to throw, Darnold. Going deep for Diggs. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up fourth down. And this passing game's whole offense really didn't show up in the loss last week, and it hasn't started all that great here either.
Yeah, and they can't let that incompletion become an uh-oh moment. Like, oh boy, here we go again. Just like last week, each game is its own entity, treated as such.
43-yard punt, but they get 9 back on the return. And the Ravens, they'll take over. So here are the Ravens to take over on offense. They've lost 2 straight coming in, but good news for them right now. They've got the lead and the football. They go play action here on first down. And he's got the hook up here. It's Woods. A big one there for the Ravens. It goes for 18.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
To throw is Jackson. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's second down. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. Again on second and 10, it's Jackson. That's into the hands of the tight end, Boyle. Now a loose football. The ball comes out, and the Vikings pick up the football. And he'll take it across midfield and down to the 48-yard line.
Check, 59. Alert flare.
First down, here's the run with Cook. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there. Second down.
Fixed on Travis. He's checking. Crash. Check. Lucky.
Looking to throw on second down. Darnold, nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Devondre Campbell flies in to blow that play up.
I spent a lot of extra time preparing for this game watching this offensive line because they gave up 5 sacks last week in their loss. They just gave up another one now. They don't seem to be working together as a cohesive unit. Right? 4 guys might have it right, but the 5th guy is giving something up. They've got to find a way to all get on the same page.
And they're able to convert on third with a solid gain of 23.
Quarterbacks love slant routes because the receivers are breaking right into their line of vision, and receivers love them as well because they're getting the ball on the move and able to catch it and try and get upfield and gain additional yardage.
Pretty good results here on the first down run as he takes this forward for about 6. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4. 6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. Here's Darnold. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Stephon Diggs. His 11th touchdown of the year as they are now on the board here in the first half. Great corner route there. Not only able to catch it, turn it upfield, and get into the end zone.
It usually involves a little bit of an extra move, doesn't it? You've got to get them thinking that you're moving to the middle of the field and you're breaking away to that corner. Boy, that was well executed.
So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. And they had the fumble last time that led to a touchdown. That's a no-no. We'll see what they do here this go-around.
A big no-no. Put that in capital letters. Turning it over, the other team takes it down and scores. That can be a deflator for a football team. Now it's up to the offense to get back out on the field and pick things up.
Now they're out there. We'll see if they can pick those things back up. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
Catch number 40 for him on the year. It's a first down. So in the second quarter, he's already up over 100 yards receiving now.
And isn't 100 the magic number for a really good game for a receiver? So he got a chance to really shatter that and have a profound effect on this game.
Here's Gallup getting it on the jet sweep. Mackenzie Alexander in on the tackle.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you.
On 2nd down now. It's Ingram. Ingram churning. He lost the football. And the Vikings pick up the football. And they'll start out with great field position at the 47-yard line in enemy territory.
Whenever I see a team turn it over on back-to-back drives, fumbles on their last 2, I know one person's blood pressure who is starting to rise, and that's the head coach.
Absolutely. And when's it going to go down? When they stop fumbling?
When they stop fumbling and after he's assessed the game film, and only if they manage to win the game.
A big play there out of Cook. 43 yards. So down inside the 5-yard line. I have to say, really just a poor job defensively there.
You're exactly right. As a former defensive back, that was not played well at all. But give credit to the offense and give credit to the guy running the football. He gets it down all the way inside the 5.
They'll run with Cook. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Minnesota. Dalvin Cook, his 9th touchdown of the season. And the Vikings have taken the lead. Nice job of polishing off that drive, but all the credit there goes to that play prior.
Yeah, it certainly does, because after that big play, I think resistance almost felt futile at that point, didn't it? And the very next play, they come right back, quick, fast, and in a hurry, and put it in the end zone.
Following the touchdown, Badgley out there to kick it away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Mark Ingram now gears up to help lead this offense back out there. They've given him some touches. They haven't had a lot of success on the ground. Do you maybe keep going to that well, or do you mix it up more?
I think you mix it up more, try and loosen things up. Get the defense to react to other people, other plays, but don't forget about it. That's your horse. You know, Secretariat lost twice in his career.
So educational. That's very true, kids. Look it up. They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. We've hit the 2-minute mark of the second quarter, 14-7. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
A gain of 5, good enough for the first down. Throwing is Jackson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Anthony Barr, make that now 8 sacks for him on the season. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out, you see, and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
Right here, right here.
On 3rd down, Jackson. They go screen. This is Ingram. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Here's Sam Martin now, as he'll kick it away for the second time. And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Now, their last 2 drives, both ending in touchdowns. It's got them this 14-7 lead.
And it looks to me, and I think you're probably seeing the exact same thing, they're in an ideal spot now to create some separation. The way that they're functioning on offense now, they can create a pretty good gap. Allows their defense to play with a little more verve and confidence.
That big article in the paper this morning about them stringing possessions together for consecutive touchdowns. Well, right here, they're trying to make it 3 in a row. So that changes things a bit. Here's a 1st and 10 all the way down at the 35. Now Darnold. He'll take a shot for the end zone. And this is going to be intercepted. It's the former Seahawk, Earl Thomas. He had a little bit of the turnover bug last week, 3 interceptions. Not an absolute disaster, but another one here. Do you start to get a little worried?
You worry about your team as a whole because you have to find a way to make those interceptions, quote-unquote, go away, and that means your defense. They've got to go out there on sudden change and at least hold people to field goals. And if that keeps happening, they lose confidence in the quarterback, and then no one plays well.
Getting set to go again here, Robert Woods marches back onto the field, making his presence felt early in this one. First half, already over the century mark.
How about the yards per completion, too? That's a pretty darn good number there. Number of catches, but he's shredding defenses, getting big yardage with each and every one of them.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. Inside of a minute left in the half, does the fact that you're down on the scoreboard influence what you do, or I guess don't do on this final drive? Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this first half. So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on 2nd down.
Strip that ball.
Here's Jackson. He's going to find his tight end, Boyle. And able to get it here to about the 16-yard line. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. This time they stay on the ground, and they'll indeed stop him on third down. And now what do you want to do with your timeouts? The Vikings going to use their third and final timeout as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in the first half of play. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Officially, that'll go as a 52-yard punt. Not too shabby. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. Sam Darnold leading the offense out for their next possession. He hasn't had his best day. They have been good running the football, and they have the lead, though, so maybe he just personally wants to improve his play.
And that's without a doubt, because at the end of the game, he wants to feel like he had a really good hand in his team winning, if in fact they do go on and get that done. But the bottom line is finding a way to win the game. So if you're not playing that well, but
due to time constraints, we move you forward in today's broadcast to the beginning of the third quarter. The Vikings have to like their position. They've got the lead. They get this football as well as we are back and underway for the second half. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Now whistles, and we've got a man down. A man down here following the kickoff. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that, because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
Let's see if they do just that. So in Raven territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. Here's Darnold. And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. Clearly wasn't outside of the tackle box. There's your penalty.
And accompanying that penalty, a loss of down.
They lose the yardage, and, of course, they also lose the down on the grounding call, and it's quickly 2nd and long. Darnold from the gun. Going deep for Diggs. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Darnold. Going deep for Diggs. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. The Ravens offense getting ready now for their first possession of the second half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second half?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something.
And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And the Vikings pick up the football. And his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line.
And this is where you need the quarterback to morph into being a running back. The ball can't be away from his body. It can't be loose. It can't be held like he's going to throw it. Tuck it away. Take care of it because he's going to run through a lot of traffic.
Yeah, and if he doesn't take care of it, we're going to see less design runs like that. Well, nowhere to go at all on that first down run as they will get to him behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's second down.
And that's what this defense is going to need to do more in the second half. Good pressure that time, forces some indecision in the backfield. He's going to wind up being taken down for a nice loss.
It's just me and you.
On second and 11 now. Darnold. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's third down. The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is third and long. Now it's Darnold. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on third down. So instead of giving them another third down, they'll decline it, brings up fourth.
Now that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
Now let's see how the offense still out there. They elect to go on 4th and 11. They snap it. They're going for it. Here's Darnold. And that's caught by Smith. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. It's a gain of 16, and the Vikings have the first down as well. Darnold now 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. A toss to Cook. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. 11 more on that one and another first down.
Now this is an example of breaking down a defense, because in a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up 2nd and goal. He's hit pay dirt a lot this year, but not that time.
Yeah, I'm tracking right there with you. You're exactly right. He's found the end zone plenty of times. No way I can find any fault with the call.
And they're going to get him. They bring him down to the sack back at the 16-yard line. Michael Pierce, in all of his 340-pound glory, gets the sack.
I'm going back to you. I'm going back to you.
Now Darnold on 3rd and goal. And that'll be caught by Diggs for a Minnesota touchdown.
Good job. Good job.
Stephon Diggs, his 2nd touchdown of the game, giving him 12 on the season. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage.
Darnold's pass complete to Stephon Diggs. Touchdown, Minnesota.
It took them an extra look, but they found out it is a touchdown indeed. The official says this one counts. Badgley able to knock this one through, and they will move up by 10 now, 17-7. So unable to convert for the touchdown inside the red zone, but they do come away with 3.
Yeah, it's a 32-yarder. That's essentially an extra point nowadays, right? Because it's 33 as a general rule for these guys. So it should be a simple kick. But you know what's really strange nowadays? When they miss an extra point, I think they carry that with them longer than missing a field goal, because an extra point's supposed to be automatic.
Absolutely, and I would think even field goals inside of 30 yards, even though they're substantially shorter than a PAT, it just has a different feel, doesn't it?
A different feel, a different vibe. That's what I get from all the kickers I talk to. They always say, if I miss an extra point, that's the one that bothers me more.
Jackson. Got an open man. It's Michael Gallup. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. They get 14 on that one. That's good for a Baltimore first down. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down. Now on 2nd and 13. Jackson. He's got it to Ingram. Complete. No yardage to speak of whatsoever. Leads to a 3rd down. They couldn't get anything going there out on the right side in the flat of the swing pass.
And didn't we have a discussion with their staff about wanting to get the backs more involved in the passing game? Huge emphasis for this game, but obviously the defense had other plans.
Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. Markel Lee racking up sack number 12 for him on the year.
Brandon, what I remember most about playing with guys who knew how to rush the passer, they would just tell you, just cover people for me, just long enough for me to get there. And that's exactly what happened on that play.
Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And this offense takes over in great shape right at the 50, 1st and 10. Sam Darnold leading the offense out for their next possession. He's been a good game manager. They're winning here in the 3rd quarter, but really the ground game is where it's been at for them, hasn't it?
So whatever the game plan was, you just got to focus on continuing to run the football. And really, that takes the pressure off of the guy throwing it around. Doesn't have to be the focal point. Hand it off, let him chew up the yardage in big plays, and your team's winning. The only people upset, the fantasy guys who may have started him at quarterback in their leagues.
And we'll see if they continue with the recipe of the ground game. From the 50, it's Darnold. Complete. Smith has it. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down. The Vikings on 3rd down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This time it's 3rd and 3. To throw is Darnold, escaping the pressure right. Maybe not exactly what they had in mind, but that scramble good for 6 and a 1st down. That is an absolute backbreaker. That was a design passing play, wasn't a draw. You think you got him stopped, good coverage downfield, and he's able to pick up the first with his legs. Defensively, that kicks into your psyche and hurts a little bit, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and here's the thing. Anytime you give up a 1st down, it hurts you psychologically, but it hurts more when they get it this way because you've covered everything. He didn't have any place to throw the football. He takes off running and picks it up anyway, and now you have to stay on the field for an extra set of downs.
And really could have used that stop trailing here in the 4th. Another tote for the workhorse this afternoon. It's Cook, and he won't get much. Maybe a couple. Down inside the 35 to the 34.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Back to throw. The open man is Smith. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop it. The end result, 21 yards. I don't want to make a story where there's not one, but he threw the 3 interceptions last week. Looked a little uncomfortable. He looks much more comfortable today.
Yeah, just 1 pick so far and his team leads. So now they can play complementary football, meaning if he takes care of the ball and his offense, if they're humming along, the defense doesn't have to be out there as long. He's taking care of his guy.
And he's going to be taken down, sacked back around the 18-yard line.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Watch the shit. Watch the shit. Watch the shit. Watch the shit.
Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. DeMarcus Lawrence has now recorded 10 sacks on the season. So 2 plays with only negative yardage to show, and now it's 3rd and 16. They're going to look to throw. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning. Hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. So they settle for just the 3, but clearly right now anything helps trying to salt this one away in the 4th.
Without a doubt, obviously a touchdown probably would have been the final nail to finish this thing off. But it's still 8 up time, got points. So while it's not mission accomplished, it's darn close.
Here comes the Raven offense now, ready for another possession. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how it baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm. A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. The Ravens on 3rd down. Not good. 0 for 4 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. Jackson from the shotgun. And that is incomplete.
They went with the dime look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
They're going on 4th down. It's Jackson. Outright, this is Boyle, the tight end. And unable to break away. They stop him a few yards shy. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. And you'd have to figure they're just looking to burn these final 2 minutes away and get out of here with a victory. Now a run with Cook. It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the first.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
Now a throw to the end zone on 1st down, but it winds up incomplete.
The positioning here is key. As a defensive back, you're taught 99% of the time, make a play on the football. But in this case, making a play on the man was all the difference. That's what forced the incompletion.
From the 24, they'll go again on 2nd and 10. Instead of running, Darnold's going to throw this thing. He's going to take a shot, and that'll be caught by Diggs for a Minnesota touchdown. Stephon Diggs, his 2nd touchdown of the game, giving him 12 on the season. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning? Right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
Following the touchdown, Badgley out there to kick it away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Harrison Smith. And they will finally stop him, but a great return. Gets that football all the way down to the 16-yard line. All smiles and high fives on that defensive sideline. That interception will cap off what was truly a tremendous performance.
Yeah, if you can hold a team to 7 points in the NFL, that's the kind of day that you...
And he's going to go down. He's sacked back at the 24. DeMarcus Lawrence in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on 2nd down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. Coming right, this is Cook on the toss play. He's to the 10, and finally down at the 9-yard line. Now the Vikings will use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. Back to throw, Darnold. And he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's 4th down.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, and when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
Running for it. Here's Cook. And he will have the first down before he's brought down at the 3. They get 6 yards going for it on 4th, and now it's 1st and goal.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
Well, they probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on 1st and goal.
Hey, Charlie!
And Darnold wants to throw the football. He's got it. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. The Vikings going to use their 3rd and final timeout. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. On 2nd and goal, Cook waiting in the backfield all alone. Darnold now to throw. To the end zone, but it's incomplete. Stephon Diggs, his intended receiver. But now it's 3rd and goal.
They may be snapping the ball near the goal line, but all you're thinking defensively, keep them out of the end zone. Force the incompletion, force them into going for 3, and not giving up 6.
Here's Darnold. Flush to his right. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
I know every offense wants to start their snaps closer to the goal line, but it's actually harder to throw the ball in those situations. You throw into that tight coverage, you see what happens. Hard to get the ball in there.
Not enough space there. Lucky maybe that it wasn't intercepted. They'll run for it. Cook. And he will fight his way into the end zone for a touchdown. Dalvin Cook, his 10th touchdown of the season, 2nd of the game. And the Vikings capitalize on the short field as they take it in for 6.
Well, I've got to laugh here, and I really don't want to because the old school in me is not happy about this score this late, not necessary. But this is Madden, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is how it works.
Rub it in. Have a day.
I mean, what does it matter? These guys who are playing in this game, there are no feelings
exactly.
there.
They don't have to face the guy. Well, they might if they're in the same room going head-to-head.
But that's
the
about
virtual
it.
Guys on the screen don't have to face each other after this one.
In that case, run it up.
Following the touchdown, Badgley out there to kick it away. Short kick. One of the up mid will take it now. And they're going to have really good starting field position here as that's taken up close to the 40. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once we were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves them with a very manageable 2nd and 1. He's going to let it fly. And that is intercepted. Or was it? Wait, they'll say no. No interception. He did not keep the feet in bounds, apparently. So that's just going to be an incompletion. So the final seconds have ticked away in this Minnesota victory. And they were buoyed, Charles, by a big second half to put this one on ice.
And I know a lot of people watching this one were thinking to themselves, I bet halftime was really interesting. Probably took the paint off the walls with some of the words that were said. But I get the sense that it was much more of the adjustments they made. They came in with a game plan that we saw that didn't work in the first half. They made the adjustments necessary, went away from that, and then they got it together